Okay, we're recording. Hey everyone, it's our Monday night team call. Woohoo! Monday, May 8th. Okay, so I am recording and we're gonna get going. And tonight I wanted to talk about events. And I wanted to talk about events because events really are what build our business. And now that it is the beginning, it's still towards the beginning of the month, I thought it was a really good time to get together and just reiterate, not just the importance of events, but the types of events, how we build for events, how we plan for events, invite for them, execute them, and follow up. And, there's all sorts of different types of events. Obviously, we know the in-home events or going to a fair, setting up a fair like Chrisanne and Nick did, and myself today at a gym, and Lisa and I and some of the other girls have done at some of the schools. In-home events that we've done, like salad in a jar. Hi, Tulia, you got on.
I'm here.
So those personal events. Then there's also corporate sponsored events, which would be like here in New York coming up, we have Dr. David Phillips, and out in California, I think on Thursday night, you've got to call like a panel of moms. Certainly conference is our big, Super Bowl event. But there's other events too that, I feel like sometimes we forget about, like virtual events. So like a Facebook event, a Facebook party, that's an event. A webinar or Zoom, that's an event. And also our three-way calls or just a one-on-one or a coffee shop meeting. Those are also events. So the more we do of a mix of all of those, the further along we can move our business. And we know this is a business really based on relationships and relationship building. So I'm going to kind of mute some people out here. Forgive me, but if you're not muted, I'm going to kind of mute you just so we don't have background noise. Because I get distracted, quite frankly. So anyway, so the more we do these events, the more we're in relationship with people, sort of the stronger we can build our business and move things along. What's really cool is we've got a lot of tools to help us do this. So I'm going to do a share screen and go on to Mission Driven Model and walk you guys through some of the tools that we have available to us that you may or may not be aware of. And it's okay. And this is why we do things like this. Because they are also always revamping these things. So it's important to periodically check out these tools to see what's been added, improved, and so forth. Okay, give me a second here to figure all this out. Okie dokie. Okay. So can you see Mission Driven Model website? All right, thank you. All right, so missiondrivenmodel.info is a website everyone should be familiar with. It's kind of like our distributor's playground, and it's broken up by getting started living the mission, building your customer base, creating the best customer experience, building your team, and there's a ton of tools and resources in here. What we're going to focus on right now is just under creating the best customer experience. If I click on that, it drops us down. There's a whole bunch of tools in there that help us to, care for our customers. But in particular, there's a tab here, customer events. And if we click on this, it's pretty foolproof and there's amazing tools in here, but it also gives us presentations that we can do. So if you're worried about, what do I do? What do I say? There's stuff in here that you can pull from, which is really cool. So what I do when I'm planning for an event, obviously I'm going to look at my calendar and see when I've got time available or when I can squeeze things in. I'm going to think about what type of event I want to do. Is it, a salad in a jar party at my house? Is it a wine and wellness? Is there a doctor's event coming up that I know I want to invite people to? And I'm going to start making a list of names, which on our team here, we've already been sort of challenged to coming up with our list of 100 names. And I know many of you have done that. And if you haven't, still just continue to work on it. Honesty here, I'm still working on it. I have not gotten my 100 yet. So that at least you have a starting point with inviting to these events. But here and I won't click on all of this stuff. You guys can do this on your own. but it literally will, you can click on and it will open up a file. And I don't know if I do open these up, if you can actually see it. Did my screen change? No? Hold on. New share. There we go. When it opens up the files, it literally gives you verbiage that you can use. So if you're brand new to this and you're really not sure, certainly you can always lean on your sponsor or your upline support, and we really encourage you to do that. But here, if you just want to, dibble dabble around or get some ideas, there's sample language in here that you can use when you're inviting to a salad party, a Facebook party, a healthy living, all the way down, right? So it's pretty foolproof and really helpful. And even still, sometimes I refer back to this to say, wait, can I tweak what I'm saying a little bit? Like, should I say something different? Maybe I wasn't getting a great response from people. Like, what can I do differently? I'll come back in here and change up what I'm saying a little bit. When we are inviting to events, I love this here, stressing the urgency of it. Some events you can stress an urgency, some things you can't. Things like an event, like a doctor's talk, where you have to buy tickets, that's something you want to stress, an urgency. Coming to like a salad in a jar, maybe not so much. Maybe you don't need to stress the urgency of that. But that's something where when people are asked to bring something, you can get more of a commitment out of them. So when they talk about getting a commitment rather than I'll try to make it, it's asking them to bring some ingredients, asking them to bring wine, asking them to bring something so they're more likely to come. When they talk about here, who will you invite, review your memory jogger, that's basically the task that we've been going through with the 100 names. So we should all be kind of familiar with that. And then always doing follow-ups within 48 hours after the event, but also doing a follow-up before the event too. So as we know, life is busy, and even though people have said, let me go back here, yes, they can come. Hold on, I'm switching. They may forget, or things just totally get in the way. And it's not a reflection on you or your event, but it's just life in general. I think we've all been on the other end of that. So even just doing like a courtesy the day before or the morning of, I usually personally will do like a text message like, hey, I'm really excited to see you tonight at my wine and wellness, or, can't wait to see you tomorrow morning at our salad in the jar party. It's going to be so much fun. Just a little friendly reminder goes a long way. And it also just lets the person know that you're thinking about them. And then we'll just flip to after the event, and we'll get back to during the event. But after the event, doing the follow-up is also just as important, to say how much fun you had, hope you got something out of it, did it make sense to you? And again, this just goes to like building the relationships with people also, which is important. So here's some examples, and you can click on these in your own time, but sharing your story. And most of you on the line here have done, events in home and are probably pretty comfortable with sharing your story. And the power in sharing your story is really important, right? It's getting your message out there. It's sharing what the product or the business, or truly it should be both, have done for you, for your family, etc. But what's nice is when we can partner up together and have somebody else in the room share their story. So for example, if Michelle and I are doing an event together, and this is her event, but I'm coming along as support for her, I might not necessarily know all the people that she's inviting. I might know some, but not all. So they may not have heard my story before. So there's power in hearing my story. I can reinforce some things that Michelle has said. And it just, somebody might resonate with my story more so than they resonated with Michelle's story. So there's power in that. So whenever you can partner up together, and sometimes geographically it might not be possible, but there might be sideline friends you can buddy up with, whenever possible. And I think in most cases here, it probably is, partner up together. And just know, like, you're never in this alone. There's always like somebody on the team, and we can do this together. That's how I feel. All right, you can scroll through as I am. There's sample flyer ideas, sample events. I'm a big fan of the salad in a jar parties. I think most people on our team are, because they're just fun. Smoothie parties, workout parties. Now that we are, killing it with the shred, doing taste the shred parties, and now that we've got also the new shred cookbook, which is really cool. I think it would be really fun to do some more taste the shred parties where everybody, does a sample recipe from the shred book. That'd be kind of cool. So in your own time, I invite you to go to missiondrivenmodel.info and click through here and just poke around and, get comfortable with some verbiage that's on there, some ideas that are on there. And I'm going to stop share. There we go. Hopefully you can just see us now. There we go. All better. Okay. So I bring you to the missiondrivenmodel.info just because I want to always bring you back to the tools that we have available to us. Because sometimes we forget, right? We think like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Who am I supposed to talk to? How do I know how to do this? And you've always got your support team around you. You've always got your upline. You've always got your sponsor. But there's also these tools that are available to you as well. So just, sometimes take a minute and go to that website, especially. You might find an answer yourself, and then you can just double check with your sponsor. Like, all right, I found this on Mission Driven Model. What do you think? So that's that. Let me see what else I wanted to cover with you guys.
What was the website?
Yep, missiondrivenmodel.info. Missiondrivenmodel.info.
Danielle?
I have it bookmarked on my cell phone. Yeah.
This is Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hi. On those flyers that you just showed us, is there any way we can download that and change the dates or some of the verbiage?
So with those that are on there, no, but there is there's a little video on there on how Julie Herbst creates her flyers, so she uses an app, Photify. I use an app called PicMonkey, P-I-C Monkey. What I'll do after this call too is I've got a couple of images that are, whether it's a salad in a jar or a wine and wellness, that are blank, that I will upload to our Honeybees team page. I can even put them into our Voxer chat as well. And then you can save them either onto your computer or onto your phone and just add in your date and time. And then what I usually do is I do it, so I'm going to recommend it for, doing events. I have my flyer created. So let's say, salad in a jar party. I've got my flyer created. I've got obviously the date, time, it's all taken care of. I've got my list of people that I want to invite to it. And I do my inviting either verbally, face-to-face, and or by text message. So because that's how I communicate the most, quite frankly. And so always with an invitation to any event, you want to make it personal and you want to do a one-on-one. So even if you're sending by text message the same message, you can send the same message and just copy and paste it to multiple different people, but make your invitation to one person at a time, if that makes sense. Does it make sense? So we're not doing a mass text message or a mass email or, canvassing, your email address book and sending out to everybody, because quite frankly, that doesn't make them feel really special, right? And we always want people to feel like you really did think about them. So I might say something like, hey, Michelle, I've been thinking about you. I want to have a salad in a jar party on Sunday morning. And I know you love, eating, taking healthy meals to work every day. I think this might be a lot of fun. Are you around on Sunday? And then she might say, yeah, I'm around on Sunday. And then I might text back, great. Do you think you want to come? Or would you be open to coming? Something like that. And she would say, I'd wait for her to say, yes, give me the details or what time. Right? Or I might say, are you open to coming? Can I give you the details? And I wait for her to say yes, like she's interested in coming or that she can come or she wants to come. And when I get the kind of yes or the buy-in or the interest, then I'll forward on the details, which would be the little picture invitation that I made. Rather than hey, Michelle, I'm having a salad in a jar party. Here's the invitation. Can you come? Right? I kind of want to back and forth. I don't want to just send out invitations to a bunch of people unless I have a semi level of interest or a semi commitment or know that they're open to even receiving the invitation to begin with. Just always think, and this is what I do, think about when you're on the receiving end of getting an invitation to something and there's been no personal attachment, connection, right? Relationship. You kind of feel like a little disconnected or maybe, I don't know, not so loved on. And you know me, I like to love on everybody, right? I'm always like loving on people. If I'm doing a face-to-face invitation, like I'm at, at pickup at school and I'm talking to another mom, it might be like, hey, Chrisanne, are you around on Sunday? I'm going to have a salad in a jar party. You haven't been to one of mine, right? Like I might have a casual conversation like that. No, I've never been to one of those. Oh my gosh, you should totally come. It's so much fun. And I might tell her a little bit about it. And if she thinks it sounds interesting, then I'll say, hey, all right, cool. Let me text you the invitation with the details on it. And I'll get her okay again before sending her the invitation. And then, of course, prior to it, I'm going to follow up, like so excited to see you. If it's something like a salad in a jar or a smoothie prep party where you're asking people to bring something, then I want to make sure we've coordinated all of that and I have all of those details. So in those cases, sometimes we have set up a Facebook event page where people can sign up for their ingredients so people know who's bringing what. But typically I wouldn't do that if it's just like a, healthy living party or anything else. We'll just do the one-on-one invitations. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, cool. Any other questions before I keep going on? No? Is that a hand? Yes?
Is that my hand?
Yes, Lisa.
Oh, well, I just kind of want to second what you said about like not just sending invitations, because I've done that where I just send that to 20 different people and nobody responds.
Right.
So you may think they're going to respond, but the back and forth, I thought of you because is a much better option.
Right. And always just putting yourself on that receiving end. Like, how is it going to feel to receive this invitation? Wouldn't it feel so much better to know, oh, you thought of me? That like people want to be flattered. So flatter them. They're much more likely to come to your party if they feel flattered and feel special.
Yes, but we are helpers, all of us. So we usually go to those parties anyways.
Wow.
Even if they just invite us via invitation.
Yes, exactly.
Most people don't.
Right. Well, we are. We're good people. That's why we do what we do. Yes, Tulia. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, so touching on what Lisa just said, she just made me think of something. So Friday, Jen and I are having a wine and wellness party at my house here.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to people before I sent the Facebook thing, just to give them a heads up. I told some people in person, but I also reached out to some reps.
Mm-hmm.
If you have anybody in mind, like Lisa and Angie, if they had anybody in mind that they were talking to, that wanted to bring them over. So if you're in the area, you're a rep and you have a customer, feel free to come.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll give you details.
That's great.
I mean,
Well,
if you were talking to someone and you needed an event to go to, just come join us.
Exactly. And that's when we're in such close proximity to each other and somebody else on the team is having an event. There's no reason to be in any type of competition with each other. It's let's use that. They're hosting an event. Let's use that as a night on your calendar and plug people in. And the more people we can get into a room and share stories, the more impactful and powerful it is for those that we're trying to share this mission with and trying to share this information with, right? The more stories they can hear, the more people they see that are on the product or doing the business, the more it just reinforces everything for them. And it doesn't seem so like weird or, right? Like, oh, it's just you. No, it's a room full of people and we're all friends and we're all normal and cool and having fun. Like, don't you want to be a part of this?
Wait,
like,
did you say we're all normal?
Totally. Crazy is normal, Julia.
Right. Sorry, I'm half asleep.
2 workout classes in a row is normal when you're on this team. You killed it tonight.
Try.
But that's excellent. And so like partnering up, really good thing to do. Okay, what else do I want to touch upon? That may have been it, but I do, because it's earlier in the month. I invite everyone to look at your calendar. If you haven't already planned at least one event, plan at least something. Take a look at what corporate has coming out. So I always like to sort of keep my finger on that pulse of what corporate events are going on. So on Facebook, there should be a Facebook page for your area. So for us here on the Northeast, we have JP Northeast Coast events page. So if you're on like my team or in this area and you're not on that page, let me know or let your sponsor know so I can add you. And that's where they roll out all of the events. For example, like Dr. Phillips on the 17th, that's how I find out about that. Jay Martin on June 1st, that's how I find out about that. And I'm sure there's one on the West Coast for you guys as well. So you probably are on that. And if not, I'm sure Melissa can get you added into it. I am not on it. But like I know Thursday night you guys have a talk that Caprice had put out to the team, and Lisa's on the panel. So always doing plugged into corporate events, putting those on your calendar, even if you haven't registered for it right away, putting it on your calendar so you're aware of it, and you can try and coordinate your schedule around it, right? To maybe get yourself there, because there's power in that. Butts and seats, we hear it all the time. And then maybe you filter in an in-home event somewhere. And then maybe you've got a couple of coffee shop meetings or some 3-way calls. So you've got a nice full calendar. And the more conversation we're in with people, the more we're able to move our business forward, right? And when we do that, that's directly relating to lives that we're changing. And that's why we're all doing this. I can give you one event to plug into right now. And next Monday on the 15th, our team call will be another webinar for Tower Gardens. Okay. So unlike the last one that Gina and I had done, where it turned into like a call for pretty much all of our reps, I think there was one prospect, but we weren't aware at the time. So it was really just like a question and answer for you guys. This one, we want it to be focused for you guys to really put prospects on the line. Okay. So you've got anybody that needs to learn about the Tower Gardens. They're brand new to the Tower Gardens. Anything at all. I have a flyer. I will put it out after this call so you all have it. You can save it onto your phones and share that. So you're going to, again, make a list of people that you want to introduce the Tower Gardens to, or you think might have an interest in them or curious about them. And then you're going to open up a conversation and invite them to get on this webinar to learn more about the Tower Gardens. Okay. And don't take my word for it. We've got Gina on the line to really share about the Tower Gardens. I'm just your happy homeowner user. So everybody can put that on. So that's at least one event that you've got. And Tulia and Jen, they've got their wine and wellness. And then we've got the, Dr. Phillips and the ocean, wherever you are out there in California. Yeah, Lisa.
I feel like a child.
I know. I'm like, yes, Lisa.
Can you see me?
Yes.
I just wrote 3 names down for that. That's going to be like a call like this.
Exactly. Zoom. It's going to be our same team, team line, team webinar, Zoom, whatever, majiggy. So they can either come on to Zoom like we do here,
right,
or they can call in by phone and listen in. But there will be slides and images for
I want them to see.
Yeah. So this way they can see the visual. So it's more beneficial. So if you're inviting somebody to it and they've never used Zoom before, a little hand holding goes a long way, just explaining to them what Zoom is, how to download it onto their phone or to go to it to their computer. If you just go into on your computer, the web address, the zoom.us or whatever it is, you don't even have to create a login. I don't believe. You just go to join a meeting and then put in the meeting ID, and it'll take them right to our Zoom page. Yeah.
Cool.
And then of course it's another one where you want to follow up with them afterwards. And obviously you should be, if you're inviting somebody to it, you should be on it as well. right? And this way you can see, and you're hearing the same information they're hearing, so you can help answer any questions afterwards or see what they liked best about it, or if they have any other additional questions that you can get some answers for them. Any other questions?
I got one.
Yes, Linda.
Linda. When you first meet someone,
Yes.
and you say you want to go for coffee, let's say you go for coffee or something like that, just two people, and do you immediately talk about Juice Plus, or you want to, because if you meet a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
it's awkward if you just jump into Juice Plus,
Right.
but maybe you're not a friend. I mean, you just met a stranger, and how do you get a relationship?
Yeah, I know. It's a really good question. And kind of think of it like dating, right? This is kind of like, it's so true, but this is like dating. And you never want to pop the question too soon, right? Just like in dating. So if you're meeting somebody for the first time and you're just going for coffee, like there's that whole like get to know you stage. So it's like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? Like, oh, you have kids. I have kids. How old are your kids? Really get into asking them questions, asking them about themselves. They will probably ask, right, what do you do? So I might say something like, oh, I have my own business. Oh, really? What do you do? And I will say, oh, I'm a Juice Plus distributor. And I'm not going to go into like, and Juice Plus is whole food nutrition, it's blah, 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 and you should take it. But I might just say, I'm a Juice Plus distributor. It's awesome because I get to work from home and I'm around with the kids. Like, what is it that you do? And then ask them about what they do and ask some questions around that. And really just get into a conversation with them, because Juice Plus may or may not be a fit for them. They may not be open to wanting to hear about it, quite frankly. But if you're in conversation with them and you start to build that relationship, well, what that does then is it builds trust. And it's always best when we can build trust, right? And become, get to know them a little bit better, take some time. And it may take, you totally hit it off and you've got yourself a new friend, and now you're going to go set up another coffee date for like the following week, or you're going to get the kids together for a play date because you guys hit it off so well. Well, now you've got this new friend, and as you build this relationship and you learn more about them, you'll find a new, when the opportunity is right to bring it up or to go into a little bit more detail about it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. Well, we are like just a minute past. So if there's any other questions, we can stay 1 minute longer, or everyone can totally hop off and go to bed. Julia's like, yes, please. I want to go to bed. I want to go to bed. All right. So you guys are awesome. I'm going to put the flyer out for the Tower Garden webinar, so you guys have that in your hands and you can start inviting for it for next Monday. And on our team page, don't forget too, we've got our Cash for Courage contest, or whatever it's not really a contest, but maybe it is, whatever you call it. So, go for 5 and a new rep, or go for 5 and 2 new reps, or go for 8 like Chris Ann did and a new rep, and really, get that cash in your pocket, right? Because we're paying out. So you'll have that visual, and just go for it. Go big, build businesses. Julia, are you raising your hand like you have a question? Yes.
Yeah. Not a question. I just, before you hang up or whatever, if anyone wants to come Friday night, and I don't have your information, let me know and I'll send you the flyer you could share with potential customers or regular customers you have, whatever.
Julia, do you want to take that flyer and put it on the Danielle's Honeybee Voxer chat?
Yeah, I can do that.
Way our team, you can save it onto your phones and people can invite that way.
Yeah, I'll do it as soon as we get off.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. All right. Power, better together. All right, team. Well, this was awesome. You guys are amazing. Go fill your calendars. Go have lots of events and fun, fun, fun. All right. I'm going to end the recording.
Thank you.